maybe I'm not meant to fall in love. Maybe falling in love is overrated. Maybe I should just settle for the mediocre and a decent human being and a good person instead of really looking for the emotions and the commitment and the connection that I think that I want. Hello, my amazing YouTube family. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I come to you barefaced because I am going to do a get ready with me because it is actually only about 72 degrees in New York and I finally am able to not sweat while putting on makeup. What an accomplishment. So it is a get ready with me and I'm going to be using full face almost of everything she basically has. And that would be Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm going to be just calling it ABH because I don't want to say that whole thing over and over and over again, and I don't think you want to hear it either. I have everything in my cute little fuzzy case, which I just love to pet. Of course, the more I pet it, the less I put on my makeup, so we're just going to put that down for a minute. I'm going to do a get ready with me because I have a lot to tell you. I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit, so we can get up close and personal. Man, I want to get up close and personal, but nonetheless we are. I'm just going to be mentioning the products as I go over them, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts at the end if they're new products, which some of them definitely are. Give you my first impressions, but everything is going to be linked below, which of course they are not affiliate links, but they're magic links, which means I make a little baby commission. The first thing, obviously, I'm going to do is use the foundation. This is her original, the Luminous Foundation. I haven't picked it up in a while, but the color that I have is 260N, so I don't quite remember if the color is good or not. This is the Trend Mood sponge that I got in my most recent Trend Mood box. I'm going to try maybe half with the sponge and half with this kabuki butch. Wow. Brush that I picked up in, I believe, the Boxy sale, one of them. Oh boy. I've already obviously primed, moisturized the whole thing on my face because she doesn't have those things. Yes, she is just a tad dark, so I'm going to lighten this up a bit. I'm using the NYX Pro Foundation Mixer in white. It just lightens things up really nicely. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I do like this foundation. Now I remember that it goes on without caking, gives, I'd say, maybe medium coverage, but I definitely like the way it makes my skin look. You know, I've never actually put this on with a brush before, so this is going to be interesting. I have the A30 Pro brush. It just says it is a, domed kabuki brush. It's a little bit small for foundation, but let's see what happens. The brush is very soft. I have a boyfriend. Yay me. I know some of you had guessed because I did give little hints throughout some of my videos that I did have somebody in my life. And let me tell you, things have moved very, very quickly, but in a really good way. By the way, if you hear noise, they're doing construction next door, so you might hear that. This applies nicely with the brush. I like it. I usually don't use brushes except for like the really thin skin tints or the really liquidy ones, but I like it. And I really did not use a lot of foundation. That was like maybe 1.5 pumps, and I still have a lot left. So he is definitely not ready to be on camera or ready for me to share things with the world. I have 3,000 subscribers, but you know what I mean. She doesn't have a concealer, so I'm just going to use these two concealers. I'll still list them below, but I don't want to talk about them too much because that's, not part of the ABH thingy. So for the sake of this video, we're going to refer to him as Gary. Now I chose that name because the man looks just like Gary Sinise. Well, I happen to think he's even better looking than Gary Sinise, but I always found Gary Sinise attractive. If you don't know who I'm talking about, think of Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. I'll put up a picture. That was one of the first things that I remarked when I met him, and it's so funny because everybody says the same thing. I said, I just think he's even cuter than Gary Sinise, so we're going to call him Gary. So just let me back up for a minute now that you know the good news. I am 50 years old. I have been single, not in a relationship, for 7 years. I've had some dates in the last 7 years, off and on, and Gary and I met on a dating site, which is so, I'm not used to it because, you know, I'm of the age where you went to a place and you met a person and you got to know them right then and there, and then you decided to date, and it doesn't happen like that anymore. Now, I am divorced since 2007, so going on, oh lordy, 14 years. I did have 2 long-term relationships, that, well, each of them being over 2 years. And I'd say, like, within the 7 years, I dated a few people, and then I had 2 long-term relationships, both of which I moved in with the person, which I think was a mistake, but that's a whole other story. And but those didn't work out. And then when my last relationship broke up 7 years ago is when I moved back home and to be with my parents and, you know, take care of them and help out and everything. And I really believe that God put me in that situation. Like, if my last relationship didn't end, I wouldn't have been here for the time that I was and to spend the time with my parents that I did. You know, I am a person that enjoys being in a relationship, but I don't have to be. I'm content and happy being single and being by myself. I have the Anastasia, of course, they're all ABH, what am I saying? But this is the loose setting powder in translucent. I had purchased this in TJ Maxx. Using a Lorella Cosmetics brush.
Laura, why didn't you call the police?
So while I'm content being single, and this is another thing, you know, when you're of my age and you've been single for so long, you get very set in your ways and you're a little bit less yielding. You're more unyielding to change and people's nonsense. And just from experience, you know, I knew what I was looking for, and I wasn't going to settle for less, because I've settled a lot in my life in relationships. I've tried so many dating sites. I've tried the paid ones, I've tried the free ones, and I did meet people and I did go on dates, but there was never truly that spark. I liked people, I dated them, whatever, but after a while I was like, well, maybe I'm not meant to fall in love. Maybe falling in love is overrated. Maybe I should just settle for the mediocre and a decent human being and a good person, instead of really looking for the emotions and the commitment and the connection that I think that I want. And believe me, the longer that you're single, the more you will tend to convince yourself of that. That's a little bit too bright for underneath my eyes, but I'm hoping when I put on a setting spray it will it'll tone it down a little bit. This is a great powder. It is white, but it's good for lightening up a foundation, so maybe I should have left the foundation as dark as it was, but once I put on all of the other powders and stuff, I think it's going to work out just fine. In my box, I did get the ABH browser. Wouldn't it be nice if they put a browser in one of our boxes? That would be great. But it's the bronzer, which I hadn't tried before, and I have the color Rosewood. I remarked on her packaging and that I think it's really pretty, and I happen to like it. It's a fairly weighty compact. It's got that little holographic nest going on, and the color is good for my skin. I have tried this already. This is what the color looks like. I can't remember how pigmented it is, and, you know, I just freaking used it, but I don't remember anything. Yeah, for me, it's a really, really pretty tone on my skin. Why does my dad have to watch, like, violent shows when I'm filming? Oy. So, you know, I did find a couple of people that I said I liked, but I loved them as a person, but I didn't feel that butterflies in your stomach, wanting to be with them all the time type of love. And I think maybe as a teenager, one would call that infatuation. But I know what it's like to be in love, and I love that feeling. I like being in a relationship. I like the commitment. I'm not one, especially at my age now, to want to date around and just have flings. And I can tell you that many people on the site are looking for that, and they're not looking for a true connection. Anybody who just puts message me on their profile means they're not really serious about finding somebody. So I am one who did read profiles. Now, yes, attractiveness is important. For me, I have to feel attracted to somebody. Now, it doesn't mean that they have to be the best looking person in the world, because as you get to know somebody, you become, or at least for me, I become more attractive to them. And nobody is perfect and everyone has flaws, although according to some of the people that I've dated, you're not allowed to have flaws and you're supposed to be a perfect 20-something supermodel or they won't date you. So what happened was I would go on the site and I would be messaging people back and forth. And there was, I wasn't looking for a pen pal either. So for me, I want to meet somebody sooner rather than later, because why waste time? If you're getting along in text conversations, why not move it to the next level and actually meet the person? This is a blush compact that I picked up in TJ Maxx. The tones are a bit too cool for me, but I can make them work. I think if I mix them a little bit. Again, I do like her brushes. I think they're really blushes, for goodness sakes. I think they're really pretty. This one is in the... So honestly, it can become like a full-time job. Basically, you're interviewing people, trying to find somebody that is, that's compatible and has certain qualities that I'm looking for. And I wasn't finding it. There were some very nice people, and some of the people that I met were very nice, but I did get catfished a couple of times, which was interesting. But nothing clicked. And as I said, I was getting ready to resign myself to saying, well, just settle for something. But I was like, I think I would rather be alone than be in a relationship that my heart isn't truly in. And not just for me, I think for the other person too. I don't think it's fair for a person to feel a certain way about you and you're not returning it, and you're not capable of returning it because you just don't feel it. But in that being said about the attractiveness, I do have to feel like, at least I want to kiss the person. I have to feel some ounce of attraction for them. I think that's just human nature. These blushes are great. They blend smoothly. I think they're beautiful. I had a hard time choosing a palette, but I did choose the Amrezy palette because I put out a thing on my community tab asking for, suggestions, but I only got a couple of answers, and somebody said the Modern Renaissance, somebody said anything, which I appreciate, and then somebody mentioned the Amrezy palette, so that's what I'm going to use because I really like it. The packaging is gorgeous, sparkly pink, and it makes me happy. This is a very messy palette because of the softness of the shadows. I'm going to try to do a look that takes me outside the box a little bit because I usually stick with the same things. I really didn't show this palette enough. You have some cooler toned neutrals, and then you have these varying pops of color that are really beautiful, and then you do have like a glitter topper here. It's fairly adherent, and it's really pretty. So you have two of the glitter toppers. There's that coppery bronze one too. The other problem with the dating sites is it's a waiting game. If the person's obviously not on at the same time as you, you answer them, and then you have to wait for them to answer you, and it goes back and forth, and that can take literally weeks. That has happened to me. Literally weeks. I'm going to start with the color OG. You know what, before I do that, see, this always happens. I do have the primer, the ABH primer. This was one of my absolute favorites. And then, of course, I found the clean canvas from Gerard Cosmetics, and I really like that also. But this is still a good one. So, as I was saying, I guess maybe about 2 months ago, I was like, all right, let me try this again. Let me put in some effort, because I would hide my profile, go back, and then, all of the old conversations were gone. And my thing is, now get this, I really wanted to stay on what I like to say my side of the bridge. I'm sure there are lots of people who are wonderful people over the several different bridges in New York. I met some lovely people. I have family on the other side of the bridge. But for me, logistics was important. I like to have somebody in my life on a regular basis. And logistically, with how busy I am, I don't want to travel an hour to meet somebody or to date somebody. It's just, yeah, that limits me, but it's just something that was important to me, and that's one that I really wanted to stick to. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, now going in with that color. The only thing with this palette is there's not a super light shade to like set the primer, but that doesn't bother me at all. So I kind of went in hard, and I was, messaging people. Some were messaging me back, some weren't. There were a few like conversations that they just didn't go anywhere. They'd message me, I'd message them back, and I'd answer their question, whatever, or they'd answer mine, and then I'd just get like a one-word answer. And then they wouldn't answer me for days on end, and I never got a response after, just a couple of interactions. And then I had come across Gary's profile, and I liked his pictures. They weren't over pretentious. They weren't any crazy ones. I don't like the the shirtless selfies in the mirror or them flexing about what they have or whatever. They were just cute pictures. And, well, I guess I can mention this because I'm not going to be giving away the location at all. But he had a really nice profile, cute pictures, and I believe I said hi. And I can't remember how long it was before he responded back, but one of the pictures that got me. Now, I'm going to say this. I do have a thing for men in uniform. It's a thing, what can I tell you? And one of his pictures was him in a fireman hat. And I was like, okay. So I do come to find out that he's a volunteer fireman, which I give the utmost props for because they have to go all through the training that paid firemen do, but they're doing it for their community for free. And that I think is one of the most admirable things a person can do, to put in all that time and effort and risk your life on top of it and do it for nothing for your community. So the good thing was he responded back, and it just so happened that we were on at the same time, so we wound up having a conversation in real time, where on the site that really doesn't happen very often at all. One of the things that I really liked was, I like when a person is thoughtful and choosy about their words, and also funny. He was really funny, and I love a good sense of humor because I like to laugh. There's nothing better than being able to laugh either at yourself or with someone or whatever. But, you guys know that I laugh all the time, and I think I'm fairly funny. Maybe I'm just goofy, and that translates into funny. I'm also going to put that same color OG on my lower lash line. By the way, this is a very nice brush. If you guys have one of the palettes and you don't pick it up because you don't think it's going to be good, I can tell you that it is. It's very soft. I can't do my entire eye look with it, but it can definitely lay down some color. So I would say that we messaged back and forth for maybe a good hour. And, I used to be very hesitant to give out my number, but in today's day and age, like, if you don't want to talk to somebody, you block them. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be perfectly honest. And so I think I was the one who suggested that we take it off the site and we start texting. So the conversation went really well, and I said when we started texting, like, I can't remember. I think I gave him my number, and I can't remember if he texted me right away, because sometimes you give them your number, and they seem to have this thought that, oh, they can't text you right away, and that just to me says I'm playing a game, and I hate games. I said I'm not a teenager anymore. It's not about, oh, can't text me too soon, can't answer too quick. Those things are for Different time in my life. Your girl doesn't have time to waste, okay? There's nothing wrong with texting somebody right after they give you their number. Why else did they give you their number? Or did I give you my number? You know what I mean? I'm going to go pink today, so I'm going to use this color Sensa, which is right here. So I can tell you that he was just as funny and lighthearted and smart and witty in his texts as he was on the site, which I was hoping. And I soon discovered that he's not an axe murderer. You know, you can tell for the most part. I never said that I wasn't one, but you know, just was checking on him. So the conversation was going so well, and as I said, I like to meet sooner than later. So we first spoke on a Tuesday, and we made plans to get together on a Friday. And then we were talking about where we were going to meet, and here's where it gets interesting. The town that he lives in, I thought was on this side of a bridge. Turns out I was wrong. He lives over a bridge, and I was like, oh, for goodness sakes, this Gary seems so great, and he lives on another side of a bridge. Well, sometimes, let me just say that you have to make exceptions for things that are worth it in your life. So he graciously, after we laughed about the fact that I didn't know what town he lived in, he said, no, I'll come to you, which is a really good sign when someone's willing to make that compromise, you know? And so we made plans to meet on a Friday night, and we were going to meet in a town. I was going to drive a little bit, and he was going to drive a little bit. We were going to kind of meet in the middle, but he was definitely going to come over the bridge to meet me. So it's an area that I'm familiar with, so, you know, I came up with a few ideas, and let me tell you, I do not do dinner when you're first meeting somebody. No. It's either coffee or a drink, depending upon the vibe or whatever. Never do dinner on a first date when you're first meeting the person. Now, I said, you know, pictures can only go so far, you know, and text can only go so far as you learning about the person. So we planned to meet on this cute little place by the water, and I was really looking forward to it. And I was really looking forward to it, except I was completely stressing about what to wear, because I haven't worn cute clothes since we shut down. I haven't been in anything but sweats, jeans, sweatshirts, t-shirts since then. All my cute clothes have just been sitting in a bin in my room. I've had no desire. So I was freaking stressing out about what to wear,
When you let nature just do its thing.
how to do my makeup, how to do my hair. I'm like,
So pure.
wow, do I really need this stress in my life? is this what I'm looking for? The stress is probably, I mean, I was putting myself under it. I don't know if everybody stresses out over things like a first date, but it's something I do. Again, I have all these new brushes that I'm trying that I got over the past couple of boxes, and I want to just try them all today. So I'm going to go with this pink called Cupcake, which is right here, shimmery. Let's see how it applies with the brush. Yeah, these apply very well with the brush. Sometimes it's quicker using your finger. So we wound up speaking and or texting. Did we actually talk on the phone before we met? Wow, I don't remember. Oh, that's disturbing that I don't remember. I'm just going to use my finger. It's quicker. Either way, we were texting and or talking or whatever every day. We spoke for a long time text-wise on that Tuesday, and then the next day as well. And they were like long, they were flowing. I didn't want to put my phone down and or be occupied otherwise while texting him. The conversation was easy and flowed. He was responsive, I was responsive. It was a very positive experience. And that hadn't happened like that either in my life for a very long time. I'm going to put a little bit of the darker pink called Reezy, just like on the outer corner here. So now I'm psyching myself up for this date. Psyching myself up and stressing myself out at the same time. And I said, we spoke, you know, the Tuesday, the Wednesday, and then the Thursday, you know, I was saying, you know, I'm very excited to see you tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it, etc. And I guess it was, I don't know, it was after I got home from work. And he texted me to the effect of, I know this is last minute and it's totally okay, but do you think you would be up for meeting tonight? And I was like, spontaneous. Let me think about that for a minute. I like spontaneity. Spontaneity is good. And something in me just said, well, yeah. So all of a sudden, I now had that other brush and this one are the LaRousse brushes, the ones that I think are priced kind of high. And I think they came in that paper folder that was really interesting. Just wanted to mention that. They're very soft and it did perform really, really nicely. I'm going to take Barb and put that in my inner corner. Oh, I forgot how pretty this one is. It has an iridescence to it. I'm getting a little bit of fallout, but that's all right. So I was like, you know what? I wasn't ready. I was practically in my schlubby clothes, everything. I was like, you know what? Let me just get up, get ready really quickly. I'm not even going to think about an outfit. I'm going to dress very casually. And yeah, let's just do this. I want to put that same pink on my lower lash line because why not? The place that we were going to meet was about 30 minutes away, and I had those butterflies in my stomach. You know, as I said, when you first see someone in person, you do have expectations based on their pictures, and you don't want to overly depend upon that, but you're hoping that if you like the pictures, you're hoping that they do look like it. I'm using that third brush that came in here. It's a little bit... Oh, hello. We have a stray. Hopefully the stray hair is not going to mess up my look because it's sticking out all over the place and I don't have a scissor to cut it. I have this desire to add a teeny tiny touch of the black, which is BK is exactly what it's called, and I just need to do this. So he had gotten there first, and I was having a hard time finding parking because they had finally their first like outdoor concert again since, you know, the shutdown, and so there were a lot of people there, so I had a hard time parking, and he kind of told me where he was parked, and I was able to find a spot. And it's funny, I'd driven by somebody that had their glasses on, so I really couldn't see, and I thought it might be him, and he kind of looked at me and he thought it might be me, but we weren't sure. So when I parked and I got out and I was like texting him while I was walking, and then I saw him look in my direction, and as I was walking towards him, oh, by the way, I did look kind of cute. I just threw on like a little bit of a flowy blouse. I put on sneakers, but like my cute little kid sneakers and some jeans. And I had my hair down, but I had like the top pony as well. And I did just like really, really quick minimum, but pretty makeup. Anyway, so as I'm walking towards him, he goes, Leann. And I said, Gary. By the way, he hates it. He's like, I get it all the time. I was like, so yeah, I'm just going to refer to you as Gary. I was like, yes. And so, you know, I wanted to hug him. I had been conversing with him for a bit, and I was excited to give him a hug and a kiss. And I went to give him a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and he, I guess, turned the other way, and he caught me like right on the side of the mouth. And I was like, I don't know, I got this little something that happened. And so I just kind of went in and like planted a kiss on his lips. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, you know, it's like, I'm very happy to meet you. And Yeah, but that was a very nice surprise. And so then I had to go pay for parking, and he did this thing that I really, really like. When we went over, he put in his first, and he, no, I'm sorry, he put his card in, and I thought he was going to do his, but he looked at my spot number, and he put in my spot number and paid for my parking, which ding, 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 ding. That's like a big thumbs up just to start with. I don't know if it's going to be too dark or not, but I wanted to put the color, I think it says Wasted, on my brow bone and see if that works. If not, I'm just going to use a highlighter. Yeah, no, it's not too much at all. Okay, good. So we went into the place and we sat down actually at the bar. I know somebody is going to beg me to use this color. It's called Leo. It's the blue. Okay, I just added that for just a little bit of something, and it actually looks really pretty. It's such a gorgeous color. Oh my goodness. I'm going to do my brows next. These are products that I already owned. This is the Brow Wiz in the color medium brown. Oh, this spoolie is absolutely gross, but okay. My brow hairs are not behaving. They're acting all curly today. I'm just going to use this one to basically define my lower brow, because I also have the ink pen that I want to use. And here's the ink one, and it's in the color Ebony. It still is just a little bit too dark. I mean, it's almost definitely black. I want to get this in a lighter color. See, like if you press a little bit too hard, see how black that is? I want to get in a lighter color because I think it'll look amazing on my inner brows, you know? I gotta spoolie that out now. So we went in, we sat down, I ordered, I think I got a white wine. I love Pinot Grigio. That's one of my favorite go-to drinks. I mean, I like a lot of different things. One drink is basically all I can do. I'm such a freaking lightweight. But, so, you know, we started talking. Oh, and I forgot to mention that as we were walking to the restaurant, like, he put his arm around me, which I really liked. I thought it was really cute. Oh, and I thought he was absolutely freaking adorable. Did I mention that? That when he took off his sunglasses, he looked just like his pictures. He looked better than his pictures. He's freaking just, to me, gorgeous, adorable, handsome, just, yeah, just everything. Just, yeah, for me. So as we're sitting there, the conversation from start to end flowed beautifully. No awkward pauses, lots of laughs, lots of giggles, both of us speaking about things, the typical things that you ask somebody, like when you first meet them and, you know, you're trying to learn about them. And we were there for a good hour, I'd say, and I was getting a little hungry. I was like, do you mind if we order maybe some appetizers? And he was absolutely all for it, and we were looking over, and we like the same things, of course, which I've noticed that everything, we have so many similarities, it's actually scary. It really is. So we agreed on a pizza, margarita pizza, which was absolutely terrible. But there wasn't a moment where there was an awkward silence. There wasn't a moment where we didn't have something to discuss or just share. And I learned a lot about him in a very short period of time at that moment. We were having such an amazing time, and it was a beautiful night. I was like, let's go for a walk. So we left, and he graciously paid. I don't expect people to pay for me, you know what I mean? You know, speaking of which, well, hello, darling. Yes, oh, I'm recording, so I had the phone on silent, and I'm talking about you. and then you call. Isn't that coincidental? Sorry, I'm back. Well, that conversation didn't go as planned. But hey, you know, when you're in a relationship, things are going to happen. Still doesn't change the fact that I'm happy. Anyway, let me just finish my story. Before I do that, I did get an eyeliner pencil. What is it called? It is our waterproof gel liner in Darkside. So anyway, I was talking about that night, and oh, this is so creamy, and it glides so beautifully across the lid. So the night went extremely well, and I really I didn't want to say goodbye. I was having such a good time. And since that first meeting, we have spoken every day and spent at least, I'd say, 3 days a week together. But we speak all day, multiple times a day. That liner is really, really nice. I like it a lot. I do have the ABH. Why do I keep saying that? You know it is. It's her clear brown gel. I wish the brush was a little bit smaller, but the gel itself is really, really good, and I need to tame this puppy down because it is not wanting to behave. It's going rogue. I have a rogue brow hair. I have the Aurora palette. I picked this up in TJ Maxx, I think it was 20. It could have been a little bit less. It's their colorful ones, but I happen to like them a lot. I'm going to use this Lorella. Yeah, this is a Lorella. I'm going to use that. And, you know, I kind of want to go the blue route, I think, and I'm going to use Orion. You can see I've used this thing a whole bunch. So things are going well, and I can really see this as a partner, a life partner, because that's truly what I'm looking for. I mean, ideally, I would really like to be married again. Now, I don't know if he feels the same way, but said, although nobody's perfect, we are going to have our differences and our little tiffs or things that don't go necessarily the way I had hoped. Just like that conversation. It's very weird that I've never had a conversation like that. It wasn't bad or anything like that. I'm just a little bit disappointed, but I don't want that to ruin the fact that, you know, I do love him. And he is a good man. And, you know, it's so funny. The things that I thought I wanted out of a relationship, I'm discovering are not necessarily the most important things. Part of me used to think that I wanted to be treated like a princess. And you know what? That's not reality. Reality is a partnership, a shared thing. Like, we pay for things equally. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to be put on a pedestal. I want to be treated well, but not in that I'm a princess, I get everything I want type of way. It's not the type of relationship. And I've discovered that what I thought I wanted in the past, I really don't. And that kind of came out wrong. I never thought I wanted to be treated, you know, it's hard to explain, but what I think I wanted or was looking for in a relationship before is no longer what I'm seeking, if that makes sense. I think this is really, really pretty. Before I put on my mascara, I do want to spray my face. I should have sprayed my face before I freaking put on the eyeliner because I'm hoping that I'm not going to get it underneath my eyes. We're going to find out. I just used the Morphe setting spray because it's really nice when I want to do something quickly. I really wanted her spray. Hold that thought. But I didn't get it in the box, and I have too many sprays to justify me going out and purchasing it. So if you guys got that spray, I would love to know your thoughts on it because I was very curious. Okay, now I'm going to put on the mascara. Here's the box. You know, I like to keep everything in the box initially. Very pretty box with the ombre. It's called the Lash Brag Volumizing Mascara. The outside of the packaging matches the inside. Again, I mentioned this is raised. It's a very substantial tube in your hand. It does have a natural bristle hourglass shape to the wand. I have not tried this. This is going to be a first impression, and I'm not using lash primer because I want to give you guys an accurate account of what I think, because many people don't use lash primer. Okay, initially, no splotching, which is what I really appreciate. Okay, there is one eye. I'm gonna, let's see, I can't really tell in the viewfinder because I can't tell. I'm looking in the mirror. Oh, hold on, I got a little bit of flaky. I should have waited till that was dry. It added some length. It's fairly black. I don't see a lot of fluffiness, but it didn't clump. Don't have any splotches up here. I think I like it. I like to see a little bit more denseness in my brow products, which is why I always use primer. Okay, it's a little too thick for me for my lower lash line. It clumped just a little bit. I like to use a more natural mascara on my lower lash line. That's why I really like the Marc Jacobs, because it just is light enough and thin enough that it doesn't clump up. Let's do this other eye. Oh, let me just close my eyes, see if you can tell. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. If you have this, let me know what you think too. So what I feel like in the end is that I feel like I have a realistic relationship. And every time we get together, by the way, it's hours at a time. The hours seem like minutes, that have gone by, and there has not been ever a dull moment. There's no awkward times. I don't say, okay, I really want to go home now. Most of the time when I'm leaving him, I kind of feel a little empty, that I want to spend more time with him. And the reason that I'm a little perturbed is because I was looking forward to seeing him this weekend, and now I can't. But it's for a situation that I need to be understanding of. Now I'm going over this a couple of times to try to build it up, and it's not clumping with multiple applications, which is good. I haven't found many mascaras that don't clump if you layer them up. If you guys know of one that you can add multiple coats to, please let me know, because I'm going to keep searching. I keep searching for that. I think my lashes look nice, and I said they don't look as fluffy as I like them, but I definitely like the mascara, and I'm going to continue to use it. I can't wait to use it over my primer, because for me, since that's how I use it, I really want to see the results with that. Now, I have several ABH lips. Do you think I could find one liquid lipstick? No. I looked through my ridiculous collection, and I could not find one. I did find 2 bullet lipsticks. One's a red, which is not going to go with this, and the other one I am hoping is, but I know I have them. I searched everywhere. I'm so freaking frustrated that I can't find it. And that's my life on a regular basis. So I have a little mini one. I have several of the mini ones. You think I can find those? No. I had a magnifying glass up to this, and I still can't read it. I'm going to hold it up to the camera. And maybe in editing I'll be able to see. I don't even know what direction is up. If you guys can read it, let me know. I have no idea what the color is. I don't think I've even tried it. It looks to be like it's a... Oh, it's a mauvey tone, little bit. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. I'll just take it off. But does she have lip liners? I don't even know. It is a matte lipstick, so it's a little bit tuggy, but not uncomfortably so. The point on it makes it very easy to get a precise line without a lip liner. And honestly, I love this color. I wish I could freaking read it to be able to find out what color it is. This is a dark color, but it's one that I think flatters my skin tone. I do see lines in my lips, but honestly, I think if I had put on my lip plumper, especially the one from, wait, where did I get it? It's a super burny one, and I like it, but it plumps up the lines in my lips, and I think if I'd used that first, I wouldn't have as many lines. This is going like in the front of my collection. I'd never tried it before, and I love it. Oh my goodness, I found a lip color I truly love. It's fairly comfortable. It's a matte lipstick, but it's comfortable. So basically, my friends, that is what I wanted to share with you. I said, I know some of you had guessed, but I'm finally in a relationship after the many videos of me talking about it and lamenting that I would probably be alone for the rest of my life, and I was prepared for that. I was set and ready to accept that. And I guess that, and so many people said you'll find somebody and when you're not looking, well, I actually had to look for it. It didn't happen when I wasn't looking for it. It did happen while I was looking for it. But, you know, God also helps those who help themselves, and I didn't think He was going to just plop something in my lap. I had to put in some effort, right? But as of right now, I am happy. I am grateful. I am enjoying spending some quality time with somebody that, that I do love. I do love them. And no, it's not going to be perfect. And yes, we're going to get mad at each other. But it is also about how you deal with the situation. How do you deal with your arguments? How do you deal with the difficulties in life that are going to come up? And those are the important things. If you guys want to hear more about this stuff, I'm very happy to share. I share my life with you guys because I value your opinions. I love you guys tremendously, and I like sharing my life with you. Let's go over everything. You already know that I love my Amrezy palette. I was happy to pull it out and play with it again. Thank you for all of you for voting. Thank you for all of you. No. Thank you to all of you for voting and wanting to see this. I definitely forgot how much I like this foundation because even in my other mirror when I went in to check, it doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look heavy, and I like the way it applies either with the brush, the ABH brush, which I do like very much. That is this one. I don't know if I would want to pay the full price for it, but since I did get it on sale, I'm I'm very happy to have it in my collection. The mascara is good. I want to see how it works with my primer. I have loved this for quite some time. It is one of my top, I'd say, 3 eyeshadow primers. The lipstick, staying in the front. Love this. Gonna wear it all the time. The liquid brow pen, I definitely want to get a lighter color. I found that storing it tipped down in one of my brush holders, helps keep it from not drying out, but I want a lighter color. Her Brow Wiz has always been my favorite. I'm very surprised that the spoolie is not broken off because I'm almost done with this one, and I have a little baby back up here as well. The liner, I don't know how it's going to wear. I want to see if it's truly waterproof. My telltale will be if it runs in the corner of my eye over here. That's going to be how I tell and how it lasts in the waterline. It was very comfortable in the waterline as well. This is a nice brow gel. Do I think you can probably get something cheaper? And I wish it had a smaller brush. I'm sure. To me, it's just a brow gel. I don't think it's any more remarkable than something a little bit less expensive. This is a great palette. I am glad that I got it on sale because they are out-of-the-box colors that I don't use all the time. As I said, I have used the bejeebies out of it, but I don't know if these guys are worth the $40, but the $20 or so, absolutely. The blush and the bronzer, I highly recommend them. I know that they're expensive and everything is relative to everyone, but I love the way it blended so smoothly. This color is perfect for my skin tone, and even the blush palette, even though the colors aren't perfect for me, I said I do find a way to make them work for sure. And I would want to try more of them. I said, but they are expensive. So I go back and forth with that. If I can find them on sale, they're items that I would definitely purchase. This is a fabulous powder. Again, if you can find it in TJ Maxx or in one of the sales, pick it up for sure because I've used quite a bit. I mean, I'm dipping down into it, and it's one of the ones that I pull for a lot. So that is it, my friends. I want to thank you for sharing this with me, for hanging out with me, for listening to me. Please let me know what you think about the look. Do you have any of the products? I would love to hear your feedback and your thoughts. I love you guys so very much. You are such amazingly wonderful people that I am so very blessed to have in my life. And remember, my friends, whatever part of the world you are in or around, I hope you're having an amazing, fabulous day. I hope you have an amazing, fabulous week coming up, and I will see you really soon in my next one. Let's hope it stays like this so I can do more get readies with me's. Get ready. Yeah, you know. Toodles, guys. Bye.